There was that very famous sign from the Women's March of an older woman carrying a sign that says, "I can't believe I still have to march with this sign," or "I can't believe I'm still marching and talking about this." Are you surprised that 30 years later with The Handmaid's Tale that we're still talking about that?
Well, everything in history, it's not linear. So because you achieve a right, and you achieve a right usually because you have fought for that right and you've got other people to agree that that's how this should be treated, there may be some other people who disagree with that, and they will then fight to get it rescinded and pushed back. And we're in one of those moments now. We were looking to be in one of those moments in 84-5, which is when I wrote the book. So it's never all steps going in the direction you might wish them to go. It's going to be some pushback.
So that was Entertainment City's Terry Hart with iconic author Margaret Atwood. She was referring to The Handmaid's Tale, but the subtext really was the women's movement in the Trump era. And as Donald Trump marks 100 days tomorrow, we welcome Ann Kingston with Maclean's magazine. I want to talk about the impact of women on Trump, but I want to first deal with what's just breaking out of South Korea. We know that Donald Trump just today said that he would not sort of negate the fact that there could be a showdown with North Korea. I mean, this is really heating up.
It is, and he, emphatically said on Twitter there might be a major showdown.
It's never just a major showdown; it's always a major.
The biggest, the hugest, and so yes, I mean the escalation is very concerning because we're dealing with a president who doesn't have many disciplinary constraints in terms, of response behavior, for sure.
And so if we go back to sort of what Margaret Atwood was talking about and the impact that women are having on the protest movement surrounding Trump, has that died down since the march?
No, absolutely not. And it was interesting watching that clip because I was at the Women's March and one of the motifs was The Handmaid's Tale, the idea that this is, The Handmaid's Tale should be fiction, not reality. So this has been kind of this continuing theme. And in terms of it dying down, no. The same organizers who brought us the Women's March have continued, and with various mobilization marches, actions, and I think that I was in New York a few weeks ago watching Hillary Clinton being interviewed, and one of the interesting by Nicholas Kristof, who's the New York Times columnist, and he made a really insightful remark. He said, young women have been mobilized by your loss in a way they weren't by your campaign, and I think that's very true. So in terms of a long answer to your question, no, the mobilization has not stopped.
And what do you see as sort of the most significant changes that are happening behind the scenes in the Trump administration?
It's
nothing. Is anything behind the scenes? I don't know. It feels as though everything.
It's the leakiest White House we've seen in a long time. We're hearing about all of these leaks, but I mean, I'm really interested in the imagery of the Trump White House, and one of the things that intrigues me is how Ivanka Trump has been thrust forward as this sort of screen of progressive empowerment for women, when behind the scenes, or not even behind the scenes, it's all pretty clear and transparent, her father is working against, women's health, international health for women, various other repressive measures that are being introduced on a daily basis.
She's really taking a lot of heat for that now, though, even though she doesn't seem to be actively speaking out in defense of him. She kind of is, and she's been given these posts that are very, very big posts in the White House.
Yes, and I think what's happened is it's one of the because it is such a roller coaster that we're in this constant state of destabilization. Every day there's something different, and it's very easy to start seeing the fact that Ivanka Trump is sitting in Berlin alongside Angela Merkel and Christine Lagarde of the IMF as being sort of a normal thing. This is not normal. Or the fact that she was sitting behind the White House desk beside with Justin Trudeau and her father flanking her on both sides. Yeah. So this is not normal, and it's sort of the way an oligarchy works, a very a dictatorship. But we're watching it south of the border.
Well, it'll be interesting to see the first, we've already witnessed the first 100 days, but it will be interesting to see the next 100. Thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Ann Kingston, Maclean's magazine.